Hello.
Yeah.
So I'm vlogging.
Oh, right.
I'm a vlogging. So I put on Twitter that I was making cheese crackers and did people want to watch me make them? And you guys came back and said yes. So I'm making cheesy crackers. Me and my parents and Steve are going on a picnic tomorrow. And I was going to be making cupcakes, but my mum came back to me today and said that she'd made lemon cake and brownies. So I didn't need to make any more cakes. So I decided on crackers instead because they go down pretty well. So I have here 57 grams of unsalted butter. And I've used 57 grams because I should use 1/4 of a cup, which is obviously an American conversion, so I've had to do the conversion to work out. So that's 57 grams of unsalted butter, which is supposed to be 4 tablespoons, but that's like 1 tablespoon to me. I can't... We'll see how it goes. Anyway, 200 grams of plain flour and 170 grams of grated cheese. 169 grams of grated cheese. Oh my god, that's good. Okay, so we need to add the ingredients together to make a dough. So there is my dough. I mixed it all together. And I actually improvised because there wasn't enough butter there, so I actually used quite a lot more butter. So don't listen to my measurements because I just guessed, really. But that's what you should come up with, is a thick dough, and you wrap it in cling film and you put it in the fridge for an hour. And personally, I believe that the inventor of cling film should be hunted down and shot.
I'm sure one day he will.
It's a pointless invention. It just sticks together. It's horrible. So there goes my disc into fridge. Just there. So that'll go in there for an hour. And now that I'm done with that, Steve's going to take over and he's going to make some bread. Aren't you, Mr. Hollywood?
Yes.
Mr. Hollywood.
First attempt.
Is that why you bought so much?
Not so much. The dried yeast is only like 60p.
So where's your recipe? Because you have to explain to people what you're doing.
It's in the big book of baking.
Go and get your big book of baking.
Which big book of baking? Seriously.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Cooking with Steve.
Am I meant to be explaining something?
Of course you are. You've got to tell people what you're making.
Ah, I'm making that.
Bread.
That. So
okay.
we have...
What do we have here?
Dried skimmed milk powder.
How much?
1 tablespoon.
You would be absolutely pants on a cooking program.
Reading out of the book.
Yep.
225 grams of wholemeal bread flour.
Well,
strong wholemeal bread flour.
Cool, right.
1 teaspoon of salt.
Yep.
1 teaspoon of fast-acting yeast.
Yep.
2 tablespoons of soft light brown sugar.
Yep.
1.5 tablespoons of sunflower oil.
Yep.
And 175 mils of warm water. Lukewarm water.
Right, okay. So what's first step? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Cooking with Steve.
Place the flour. Hang on, I'm going to put this separate now. Flour, milk powder, salt, sugar, and yeast in a large bowl.
Yep.
Then pour the oil and add the water and mix into a smooth dough. Right, cut, and then come back when I've mixed it.
So I got slightly bored waiting for Steve to do his thing, so I am nibbling on a Tootsie Roll. Yum. Stephen, would you like some Tootsie Roll?
I'm not actually that keen on Tootsie Roll. It's just... It's like hardcore fudge.
Eat the Tootsie Roll.
I don't want a Tootsie Roll.
Eat the damn Tootsie Roll.
I don't want a Tootsie Roll.
Eat it.
Yummy Tootsie Roll. How did you know?
So what's happening here?
I'll have to take a wedding ring off, or someone's going to be finding it in their bread.
What are you doing?
Mixing it.
Yeah.
Well, don't let you be worried.
Tell the people.
I'm mixing it together. There's nothing else to it. I'm simply mixing it together.
So where are we with the bread now?
Well, I'm now making my first horrific attempt to knead dough. Paul Hollywood makes it seem really easy. What he doesn't explain is that dough wants to do everything except leave your hand. So kneading isn't the easiest thing. He's just going, oh yeah, it's just like that, while playing on his Game Boy with his other hand. It's not that easy. It doesn't work like that in the real world. Like in Hollywood.
You think Paul Hollywood isn't from the real world?
No, he's from Hollywood. That's why he's called Paul Hollywood.
Good God. Okay, so you're kneading the dough now.
I'm kneading the dough. There's probably people watching this going, oh, you're ruining it. Oh my God, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. I'm doing exactly what my first attempt at bread is going to be. And if it goes wrong, you know what, my second attempt will be slightly better.
That's a good attitude.
Because by that time I would have hunted Paul Hollywood down and kicked his little dwarf ass.
Can we keep him? Can we bring him home and keep him? I love him.
We do have a cat flap that's not being used.
Oh, for God's sake. Anyway, my dough is looking like that right now. Exactly the same as when it went in, only cold. Oh, it's there. Only cold and hard. That's Luke's teething ring. We don't need to look at that. Look, cold, hard dough.
That sounds like a good book.
Cold and hard dough. I think that would make a fantastic band name. Cold and hard dough! We love you! Or something like that. I'd like to explain to everybody what you've just said to me.
I checked the clock to see how long I'd have to, because I have to knead this for 10 minutes, so I thought, I know, I'll have a look at that, and then I'll know what time it'll be in 10 minutes. I looked at it, didn't even register what it said, and thought, cool, I'll check that again in 10 minutes. I've now looked up again and realised it still says 23. Not only does that number mean nothing in the time world, but I was, of course, looking at the temperature of the kitchen, which hasn't changed in the last few minutes. Not that I know how many those few minutes are, because I was looking at the temperature.
Why also, just on a change of plan, do we have James Bond playing cards in our kitchen?
Doesn't everyone?
Okay.
Yeah. It's looking like dough. Spanking is mandatory.
I want a theme tune.
Skillabop.
So my biscuits are done. I left it in the left the dough in the fridge to cool for an hour, and then I let it out for half an hour to soften. So it's like this consistency here. See this? But this is all dough that I'm not using. So these are the ones, and they are being placed into a preheated oven at 350 degrees, which is gas mark 5, for 10 to 12 minutes. So,
or, as it looks, we're cooking them on a toaster.
yeah. You'll see these on the other side. Oh, now I get a theme tune.
That's what you get.
So after 12 minutes, I've taken them out of the oven.
Ooh.
And they look like this, little biscuits of cheesy goodness. And we've just eaten one, and they were quite rummy, weren't they? Quite scrummy.
They're lovely.
So there we go. That's my cooking. And now Steve is going to show you his dough of his bread.
I left it to rise. I know there's a term for it. It's now doubled in size.
On the microphone.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oops. It's now doubled in size, so I've now got to flour that and make that the length of that, 3 times the width, and then fold it and put it in, and then it goes in there.
Oh, for God's sake, don't ever vlog. Stop vlogging. So what are you doing? You've got to lightly dust your surface.
I've got to clean the surface first. Still covered in your stuff.
Oh yeah, still covered in my... Oh sorry, I didn't tidy up after myself.
It's the wrong flour. Right, what you can see now is it was in there, and I put it on there and I did the whole spreading thing, which takes ages because it's dough, so you spread it and you turn around, you come back and it's gone and gone back to its original size.
Oh my God,
so
you cannot vlog for toffee, man.
Well, I'm not a seasoned pro. Hang on. So it's now in there, resting again. It's going to be in there for the next half an hour until it fills it a little bit more. And then it's going to go in the oven. And there's a little tip which I've been told, which is that you put a tray in the oven while it's preheating, so that when you open the oven to put the loaf in, you pour some water in there, some hot water on the tray, and it creates steam, which makes that go a little bit bigger or something, more bread-like.
What do you think about Daddy's waffling? Huh? Is Daddy waffling?
I think that's a yes.
It's like I won't comment.
The bread is here.
Let's fill it.
So it didn't quite work as planned. I have a nice loaf.
Hey.
It's nice and spongy inside.
Well done.
It's charred the top a little bit, just a tad.
It tastes amazing.
But it's nice and soft. One thing we discovered, I set the alarm to go off at 25 minutes instead of 30 minutes, and it was still quite singed on top, so we've discovered our oven is considerably hotter than it's meant to be. But we have a loaf.
We have my biscuits. That was cooking with us.
Yay!
It's good.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done, you. Scone queen. Or biscuit queen.
I didn't make scones.
Well, they're cheesy. Biscuit queen.
They're squeezy cheesy.
Squeezy cheesy.
So, yeah, cool. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye then. Bye-bye. Bye-bye then.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye then.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.